Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're tackling a topic that's affecting a lot of Canadians: financial stress. According to a recent survey, 46% of Canadians are losing sleep over their financial situation, and 39% feel less in control of their finances compared to a year ago. Even more concerning, 55% say they feel financially paralyzed, unsure of what to do next to improve their situation. And this stress isn't just about missing financial goals. 32% of Canadians say they're falling behind on those too. All of this paints a picture of how financial pressures are weighing heavily on people's mental health, decision making, and overall sense of well-being. And we've all seen how the cost of living has gone up: groceries, housing, gas. It feels like everything is more expensive than it was even a year ago. Meanwhile, wages just haven't kept up. Many of us are finding that there's more a month left at the end of the month than money, if you know what I mean. Add to the fact that household debt in Canada is at record levels, so it's no surprise that people are feeling squeezed. Credit cards, lines of credit, mortgages, it can feel overwhelming when so much of your income is already spoken for before it even hits your bank account. Now that's the bad news. The good news? Well, you're not alone. Well, there's more good news than just that. The good news is there are some practical steps that you can take to reduce financial stress and regain control of your finances. So let's break it down into a few actionable steps that you can start today. Step 1, start with a budget. I know that sounds basic, but budgeting is one of the most powerful tools you have. Take a close look at your income and all of your expenses, right down to that daily coffee or those streaming subscriptions you might have forgotten about. Once you have the full picture, and I mean full, categorize your spending into needs and wants. Needs are things like rent, groceries, and utilities. Wants are things like takeout, entertainment, and non-essential shopping. The goal is to prioritize the essentials and see where you can cut back. A good rule of thumb is to follow the 50-30-20 rule. Spend 50% of your income on needs, 30% on wants, and save or invest the remaining 20%. Look, I get it. If those numbers feel unrealistic right now, that's okay. The point is to start somewhere and begin working towards that balance. Step 2, build an emergency fund. What would you do if you had an emergency expense tomorrow? Could you weather that economic emergency? Now, I get it. When people say emergency fund, you're already thinking, I feel stretched so thin. How can I possibly have an emergency fund? But honestly, setting aside $10, $15, $20, $30, $40 a week can add up over time. And if you stick to it, you can actually build an emergency fund of 3, maybe even 6 months worth of living expenses. And when you do build an emergency fund, note that the emergency fund is not a vacation fund. It's meant to be a safety net for unexpected expenses like a car repair or an emergency vet bill, so you don't have to rely on credit when life throws you a curveball. Step number 3, tackle your debt. Debt is one of the biggest contributors to financial stress, especially high interest debt like credit cards. So start by listing all of your debts and their interest rates, and you can focus on paying off the one with the highest interest first while making minimum payments on the others. And that's actually called the avalanche method. Now, if you prefer to wipe out debt quickly and easily, meaning getting rid of individual debts faster, you can start with another way called the debt snowball method, where you pay off the smallest debt first, and then after you've paid that off, you roll those existing payments into the next debt. Now, whatever method you use, the key is to stick to a plan and to get rid of that debt. Step number 4, and this probably, admittedly, is one of the hardest and maybe even the most awkward, and that's start having open money conversations, especially if you are in a relationship and you're living with somebody. Start talking to your partner about money because it is essential. And yeah, it'll feel awkward at first, but open communication can prevent misunderstandings and help you work together on financial goals. You can start by setting a time to talk, no distractions, no judgment. Discuss your goals like saving for a house, paying off debt, or even taking a vacation. When you're on the same page, it's much easier to tackle financial challenges as a team. And here's some things you can do to tackle that financial stress as a team. 1, you can invest in financial literacy. Understanding how money works can empower you to make better decisions. You can take advantage of free resources or podcasts, online courses, or even videos like this one. Number 2, and I think this is really important, you can practice gratitude and celebrate wins together. Don't forget to acknowledge the progress you're making. Whether it's sticking to your budget for a month or paying off a small debt, celebrate those wins and practice gratitude for what you already have, because if you do, it can really help shift your mindset and reduce your stress. And I would even add to that, don't blame the person you love for national or even global problems. It is not your partner's fault that bread, gas, and other basic necessities cost more. It's easy, I get it, to take your frustration out on the people closest to you, especially during uncertain financial times. But you do not want to lose, alienate, or exasperate the people you love, because I think you know this, you need them. Lastly, step number 5, it's okay to ask for help. Sometimes the best step you can take is simply just to ask somebody for advice. Now, for example, you can ask a financial advisor who can provide personalized advice based on your situation, whether it's creating a debt repayment plan, optimizing investments, or planning for your retirement. Sometimes all you need is a guide to point you in the right direction. And look, whether you get help or you study up and do it yourself, I am convinced that with the right plan, the right advice, and some hard work, you are going to make it. Thanks for watching. If this video resonated with you, if it encouraged you, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who you think might need it, and subscribe for more tips in managing your money and improving your financial health. Till next time, see ya.